What's up, everybody? My name is Godzi, and welcome back to another episode of Umineko When They Cry Answers Arc. Last episode, George proposed to Shannon and she accepted. And we also got Erika talking to Kumasawa some. And I think there was more with the Beatrice twins. I might as well just call them the two Beatrices. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Well, let's just get back into this then. Sorry, but I'm out. George slammed his last card down, ending the game with his victory once again. Everyone gasped in unison. The cousin room was filled with laughter as they enjoyed their card game. Whoa, so you really did have it, George. Damn you. Damn you, Six of Spades. Your Eight of Diamonds was pretty nasty too, Battler. I was so close. You're incredible, George. You won again. Yep, looks like we've won again. Maria couldn't really hold her own in an all-out battle, so she had teamed up with George, which was why she was celebrating his victory. Utter defeat. Kanon winced and let his cards drop to the table. The game of sevens between Kanon and the cousins had been a fierce battle. Normally they would take things easy since Maria was there, so this sort of game was rare. Kanon had started taking the game seriously, unwilling to lose. So George and Battler had responded and the battle had grown fierce. Unlike Battler, who was carefree enough to enjoy it whether he won or lost, Kanon's mood changed drastically with every victory and defeat. It was less of a dislike for losing, more that he just wasn't used to playing. He wasn't used to trading a few wins and losses with his opponents, so he took even losses within a game seriously. Since he had resolved to win and had unfortunately challenged the veteran players George and Battler, the result was plain to see. As Kanon slumped his shoulders, Jessica slapped him on the back. Hey, you almost had it. I love fighting all out like this. Whether you go all out or not, if you just lose in the end, it's all pointless. That's not true. If you really gave it your all, there's no reason to get all depressed when you lose. If you lost after hardly trying, then you'd be grumbling and complaining about how you would have won if you'd taken it seriously, right? That's right. People who really give it their all never complain. They're always cheery no matter what the result is. You're right. And they can be scarier than anyone else. They always learn something from their experience and grow. Very true. I was a coward, so I could never learn anything. I see that I am still immature. I am furniture, so any dreams I might have are pointless. Because he'd rigidly believed that, he'd distanced himself from everything, shutting himself away. However, during that same time, Shannon had undergone many life adventures, and now her hand was resting on the door separating furniture and humans. The old Kanon would have only seen this card game as a way to pass the time. However, the new Kanon was now capable of gaining something new from this experience. That's probably what it means to grow. Furniture does nothing but rot with the passage of time. The ability to grow is a privilege given only to humans. Thanks for playing with us. You probably had work to do, like filling in the log, right? I'm really glad you decided to hang out with us. Don't worry about it. I had a lot of fun, too. Or should I say that I've realized this sort of thing is fun. Thanks for pushing so hard for me to come. Let's challenge ourselves more and more. And let's go and find more and more things you didn't know about. Oh. By the way, about what we were talking about earlier, ever wanted to try playing guitar? Well, I don't want to force you or anything, but it must be very difficult. Yeah, I guess, but I'll do a good job teaching you, and I'll even practice with you. Well, I guess I'm not that much of an expert myself. At first, Kanon was scared that he might make a complete fool of himself if he touched a musical instrument for the first time in his life. After all, he knew that screwing up like that would make him feel bad. However, Kanon was starting to learn. It's only natural that I'll be bad when I first start. If I try to run away from it, I'll never learn a thing for all eternity. I'll never achieve anything. That's right. Isn't that why people love it when they feel themselves improving? Even I sucked at making my left and right hands move at the same time when I first started, but I slowly got the knack of it, and it started to feel more and more natural. I'd like to reach that level too. If one path to that goal is playing music with you, milady, I would love to do that with you. Really? Yes. I'm sure I'll be horrible when I start, and I might even make you lose hope in me at times. But, if I've given it my all, even messing up is no big deal. That's what I learned from you all just now. You're embarrassing me. I love you more than ever, milady. Because I averted my eyes for so long, even though you shone like the sun, I never noticed you when you were right there next to me. Then I'd better work even harder to make you love me even more. Not sure why her laugh got so Eva Beatrice-y there, with the ya-ya-yas and everything. Kanon's serious and competitive words were more than enough to make Jessica shy. However, Kanon's expression unexpectedly clouded. Milady, the reason I love you is so clear. Because of that, I can't bear not knowing. Not knowing what? Knowing... Oh. Why did you start to like me? Oh, we're gonna get her story, too. Unlike you, I don't shine in any sense. Even now I'm just clinging to your back as you shine the way. I can't think of any reason why you would love someone as shabby as me. That's not true, okay? There are all kinds of good things about you, Kanon. Let me swallow my pride and ask. What about me made you like me, milady? Kanon hung his head. Since he had never learned anything on his own, he had never been able to take the initiative with her in any way. The fact that he was accepting her affection one-sidedly, unable to do anything but simply receive it, made him sad and frustrated at himself. Jessica was lost for words. After all, compared to the reason that Kanon had started to love Jessica, Jessica's reason was a lot more vague. She had heard Shannon talking about her love with George, and at school she and her friends had always talked about relationships with boys. There would have been nothing strange about a girl, fascinated by the idea of romance, developing an interest in a nearby member of the opposite sex. However, if you put that into words, it might be misinterpreted to mean that any nearby boy would have done just as well. However, she could still be proud of the feelings she felt at this very instant. She really did love Kanon, and she truly wanted to experience romance. As a result, they might end up together, or they might not. However, if she reached that result without holding back, she could accept it no matter which it was. That's how she was able to become serious and honest about how she felt. However, she couldn't find the right words to tell Kanon this. When Kanon saw Jessica bite her lower lip in frustration, he finally realized. I'm such a fool. Huh? What about me do you like? That very question is foolish. It's proof that I'm not serious about myself, and that I haven't been able to understand even myself. It's horrible of me to try and make you say it for me. That's not true. After all, it's the first question any girl would like to ask after being given a love confession. What part of me do you like? It was immature of me to ask you that. How could anyone love someone so immature? Wait, that's not... Jessica panicked, trying desperately to explain how she felt. However, Kanon was calm, and then he spoke. In that case, I want you to love me the way I already love you. I've decided to start changing myself so that can happen. I can hardly imagine that you would love me as I am. But someday, no matter what. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure you'll become a wonderful person, Kanon. A guy so cool that I can't keep my eyes off of you. Until then, I'll stick by you all the way. We have plenty of time. But unfortunately, there isn't that much time left. What do you mean? It usually saddens you when I talk about furniture. However, this is something I must tell you, and it is also something I must fight for with all my soul. What are you talking about? I don't want to hear any more of that I'm furniture so I can't fall in love talk. You're a human, not furniture. Yes, I would like to become human. However, I am still furniture. In that case, just do it. Become human. Something about Detroit or whatever the hell. The witch taught me once about the single element of this world. According to her, it's love. It's something that humans born into this world can take for granted. However, it is not something that those not from this world, who were born as furniture, can take for granted. In order to gain it for themselves, they must have magic or a miracle. In just the same way that Shannon and George would never have ended up as they have without borrowing the power of that golden butterfly brooch. Huh. I don't really get that last part. What don't you understand? Let me hear it. Since this game began, a large portion of the time has been spent on Shannon and Kanon's determination to fall in love. I've got no problem interpreting that as a story of growth and teenage determination for a girl and boy who call themselves furniture, but one of the assumptions they make feels really out of place to me. Why is magic necessary? Is that it? Both Shannon and Kanon call themselves furniture. They've always claimed that there can't be love between furniture and humans. At that point, the magic of the golden butterfly brooch comes into play, and as the miraculous result of its magic, love is established between Shannon and George. That's what they claim. Might it mean merely that forbidden love between people of different classes would be unmanageable without a miracle of magic? True. I can accept that Shannon and Kanon, who are servants in forbidden love with members of the family and suffering for it, might debase themselves by calling themselves furniture. Then what is it that you cannot accept? Without borrowing the power of magic once more, marriage will be impossible. That seems to be a common misunderstanding between Shannon and Kanon. Oh, understanding. I just can't understand that part. After meeting in secret for quite some time, George and Shannon had finally gotten engaged. Both were fully prepared for it emotionally, and though there would be some trouble with the relatives, it would probably be impossible for anyone to prevent their marriage by this point. Trying to stand between two who wish to be wed is as foolish as standing in front of an arrow and trying to catch it. Exactly. Now that George has sworn to protect his lover for the rest of their lives, he has no need to fear opposition and disinheritance from his parents. On the contrary, you might even consider that a perfect test of his love for her. In other words, they will be married, no matter what. No one can stop them. And they've both consented to the engagement. No one can stop them or impede them. Trying to break apart lovers is a foolhardy venture. Yeah, and that's what's strange. There's no need for magic. If George and Shannon had wanted Eva's approval for their engagement, then magic might really have been necessary. After all, Eva had forbidden his relationship with her. No matter how much George spoke on Shannon's behalf, the chances of Eva being convinced were very near zero. If that were the case, it would be understandable if they'd wanted a magic miracle to make Eva acknowledge that engagement. However, George has already made an oath. He doesn't care whether his parents approve of the engagement or not. Yeah, there's nothing standing in the way of their engagement, and Shannon should know that well herself. So why is it that now, on this night where the proposal went so smoothly, she's still praying for a miracle of magic? According to the furniture, she won't even have the right to marry without such a miracle. And there you go. It means that Shannon has accepted George's proposal, but she knows that there's still some kind of barrier that can't be overcome without a magical miracle. And that barrier isn't something that they can overcome by their own efforts. That's why they need this miracle called magic. Why do they need magic? If two people love each other, what other miracle could they possibly need to be together? I see. Featherin listened to Angie's interpretation, smiling in a satisfied way. Apparently, she had already reached that conclusion and enjoyed watching Angie finally manage to do the same. And that same question applies to Kanon as well. The love between him and Jessica has just begun, but their emotions are pure. There's nothing standing in their way. They're already in a loving relationship even without the golden butterfly brooch. The relationship they've started might easily last for years, eventually resulting in marriage. There's nothing standing in their way either. As long as they don't seek approval from Krause and Natsuhi, it seems that they will not need a magical miracle either. Exactly. Kanon watched how Shannon lived and changed his own way of life. Then he let his true feelings be known and started a relationship with Jessica. There's no need for magic anymore. If it were one-sided love, then he might need a love charm or something. But their feelings are already mutual. They've already communicated their intentions to one another. So why do they still need a magic miracle? Both furniture were in relationships of mutual love. There shouldn't have been any need for a miracle any longer. So why do they still desire some miracle? And on top of that, the single brooch was portrayed as bestowing only a single miracle. It felt almost as though Shannon was hesitating because if she used up that miracle for herself, Kanon's chances at love would be automatically sealed away for eternity. So this is the question. Why is furniture not allowed to love? So you ask why love will not be permitted without the miracle known as magic. And also, though the furniture laments with such certainty that they're unable to love, this golden butterfly brooch is supposed to give them permission to do it. Just what on earth is it? A key? I don't know. Whatever. Of course, it is a crystallization of magic! However, like most magics, it can be burnt by the anti-magic toxin. Okay. So it can only have an effect for those who believe in magic and witches. Correct. So Shannon, who was capable of interacting with me, was able to make use of its benefits. However, if Shannon had dropped it on a sandy beach and someone who knew nothing picked it up, if that person was shrouded in the anti-magic toxin, they wouldn't be able to make use of the brooch's magic power. Precisely! A witch's magical items often lose their power if they are not handed over directly. However, just as how a witch can manifest herself if her existence is acknowledged by a great many humans and the anti-magic toxin disappears, the power of that magical item can also be preserved if it is believed in by a great many humans. That's ironic. No matter what kind of magic we witches give out, everything depends on whether the human we give it to can accept it. I've heard that the same goes for medicine. Even with the exact same medicine, humans who know nothing of the medicine's effects experience it to a greater degree. Oh, I think I understand. When taking cold medicine, I've gotten the feeling that it's more effective when you read the description on the bottle. As she listened, Beato thought that magic sounded a bit like a ritual. When most humans think of magic, they think of incredible miracles being performed one after another in front of a crowd of other humans. However, this true magic that the older sister spoke of sounded almost like a ritual, something that has no effect if the person using it doesn't believe. Shannon's heart was captured by George bit by bit as he grew by leaps and bounds. However, she had given up, thinking that one of a different class such as herself would never find love with him. That was when Beatrice had given her the golden butterfly brooch and encouraged her. Giving up means that you've got zero chance of success. However, if the power of magic makes you think that there might be some chance of your wish coming true, then the odds of it happening are at least greater than zero. Zero remains zero forever, so miracle is a fitting word to describe even a faint chance coming into existence. Humans can use magic to defeat resignation, the process by which they themselves make their probability of success zero. When a human refuses to give up, though their chances of success may be small, those chances do exist. And the more determined they become, the greater those odds rise. It was easy to imagine Shannon making earnest wishes upon that brooch, believing in its effect, and trying little things over and over again to get George to like her. The power of belief becomes magic. And those who make others believe are witches. Those who make others believe are witches. That's an interesting way to put it. If you think about it, it's true. Let's say a witch steps out into a spotlight, waves her staff in front of a crowd of onlookers, and makes a rabbit appear out of thin air. The many people who see it will surely assume it to be a sleight of hand. They might wonder at how it was accomplished, but they'll surely say that it couldn't have been real magic. And when they applaud, it will be for a splendid trick that only appeared to be magic. But what if? What if someone performed a sacred ceremony inside a great ancient temple in front of a crowd of believers, and ended up with the exact same result? Would any of the people there think it was a sleight of hand? In fact, in the ancient past, when magic tricks as a form of entertainment didn't even exist and divine spirits were worshipped, this would doubtlessly have been a miracle of magic. Dog bark. In that case, could this here be magic? Aha! Well now, what will be the first spell performed by the witch unable to use magic? Here, I have an empty teacup. There's nothing inside it. Yes, it is empty. And then? You take it, turn it like this, and place it upside down on the table. And then? What next? Let's both close our eyes and chant the incantation. It was the same magic that had been used to give Maria candies, correct? Beato the Elder grinned and closed her eyes. When she saw this, Beato slowly chanted the incantation. Come, try to remember what was inside the cup. Indeed, come try to remember what was inside the cup. As she chanted, Beato slowly opened her eyes and made sure that the older sister was repeating her with her eyes closed. Then a single gold butterfly appeared out of nowhere, fluttered down onto the overturned cup, and scattered away in a golden splash. May I open my eyes now? Yes. Please open your eyes and inspect the contents of the cup. Well now, let us see how well your first bit of magic has performed. Taking her time and dragging out the suspense a little, the older sister lifted up the cup. Aha! How is it? When the cup was lifted up, there lay a single golden rose petal. Does this count as magic? Yes, it does. Oh, the golden truth again. You used magic to create a golden flower petal inside an overturned cup. Okay, the gold truth is real confusing. It was a splendid bit of magic. The fuck? Without love, it cannot be seen. That much I understand. It may be viewed as a trick. It may also be believed to be magic. It all depends upon the toxin of the individual. Dog bark. Then again, while this can explain some of the magic that's been used in the past, it can't explain everything. To get back to the point, all this stuff about believing in magic and rituals, it doesn't answer the question, what was this golden butterfly brooch, which allowed the furniture, who strongly believed that they could not love, to finally find love? If we blindly accept the story of those two Beatos as true, might we assume that magic had the power to cancel out their feelings of resignation? Okay, I'm gonna make an assumption about the golden truth. So far it's only appeared twice. Once when Battler said Kinzo's dead, and another time with this Beatrice saying that what the younger Beatrice did was magic. I think it's perspective. I think based in certain realities, or based on observations, it's usable. So Battler knows Kinzo is, dead. From his own perspective, he is aware that Kinzo is dead, so he could use the golden truth there and say, Kinzo dead. Whereas this Beatrice, from her perspective, what's going on with her is magic. So she's just like, yes, this is magic. Not 100% sure on that, but that's a guess. Why mustn't furniture fall in love? Why is the power of the magic brooch necessary? Yes, it does seem at a glance as though what you and the Beatos are saying provides an answer, though a vague one. However, let me say this as a reader. I can't accept this as you presented it. You cannot accept it, you say? The tragedy those furniture are struggling to resist is way too big to be explained away by that. I doubt they could reform their way of thinking just because they were given some charm for making relationships. It's true that the brooch gave Shannon the chance she needed to get together with George, but sometime after that, she said she wanted to deepen their relationship without borrowing the power of magic, and she even tried to give the brooch back to Beato. At that point, she supposedly rejected the miracle of magic for a time. So why would that power be necessary again? Well now, perhaps there is no way to say it except that love and marriage are very different things. Featherin laughed lightly. She had probably formed a theory of her own and was laughing at Angie, who hadn't reached it yet. Let me hear it. What's your view? I'd like to keep that to myself for just a while longer. And of course watching you form doubts and that your mind race is one of the joys of being read aloud to. If I gave you my views, you would accept them and stop thinking. Then having you read aloud would be no fun. So you're having me read a mystery novel you already know the answer to, just so you can enjoy watching me blunder about. Well, I am the Witch of Theater going. If you wish to laugh at my bad taste, please do not hold back, my Miko. Wahahaha. I understand that part of magic is created by a believing heart, and that magic probably permeates deep into the world of us humans as well. However, though it permeates so far, the power that dwells within magic is small. Lots of people visit shrines to pray for success on tests. However, people rarely credit such a visit as the reason for their success. By itself, praying does little more than give one peace of mind. In love, where even a small chance and a little bit of courage can result in major changes, this power can sometimes bring about incredible transformations. However, would something like that really be enough To change the insurmountable fate of furniture? In the past, when Shannon and George were brought together, I imagine that the brooch's magical power functioned as little more than a ritualistic charm. However, by now, the magical power that the furniture seek from that brooch, it's not something as vague as a ritual. It feels much stronger, like a whole different interpretation of magic. If you believe in a sleight of hand, it becomes magic. But that's no more than a child's trick, and that only explains one part of magic. They are hoping for something. They're hoping for something with much, much more power. For true magic, not a sleight of hand. So then, just what kind of magic is the furniture expecting from that brooch? It's a very good question. Oh, back to them. A golden butterfly brooch? There exists a magic charm that the golden witch Beatrice gave to Shannon in exchange for smashing a mirror, and which made her love bear fruit. That's what this is. From his pocket, Kanon pulled a single wing from a gold butterfly. Oh. Though it was a single wing, it was easy to tell from its shape that it had originally been part of something with a butterfly motif. The magic of this brooch gave Shannon the chance she needed to start her relationship with George. However, before that magic was fully realized, she left it to me. So, thanks to the power of this brooch, I gained your affection, milady. That's not true. I started liking you because of my own honest feelings. Thank you very much. You are human, so you do not believe in witches or magic. It's only natural. However, as furniture created by magic, my very existence here is proof that the miracle of magic exists. Sorry, what are you talking about? Jessica tried to make sense of Kanon's words. However, she couldn't understand, and had to ask him to repeat it, wearing a stiff smile. Both Shannon and I need magic to succeed in love. The key for that is this brooch. I stepped on it and crushed it, so we each have one part now. The brooch had lost its power when it was split in half. However, if it was ever joined together again, its magic would be revived. It would revive the miraculous power that could join furniture and a human together. I see. However, a single brooch can only grant one person's wish. Only one of us furniture can be joined by the single brooch. That was the final seed of love, a spark of love, which the old, shrilly laughing Beatrice had sown. The old Beatrice had said that humans tormented by the spark were like ripe fruit, which she crudely used for her own enjoyment. However, the magic infused within the seed was real. It was the only crystallization of magic that the Golden Witch Beatrice ever left in this world. Its glint increased. Okay. Butterflies. Huh? What the? It's okay. But please don't look right at it. It'll blind you. The glint grew even stronger, shining like the sun. Even without Kanon's warning, Jessica wouldn't have been able to stop herself from covering her eyes with her hands. As the light grew stronger, a sound like the roar of the wind, or the tide, also grew in intensity. The sound of the wind and rain outside had already been overwhelmed. Jessica could no longer even stand, and she crouched on the floor. A flood of sound and light. Until it withdrew, Jessica could do nothing but moan. Huh. Womp. Little butterflies. Oh boy. Didn't realize that was the end of a chapter, scene, whatever. No clock though. Just glass shatter. Womp world. Kinza's study. Door. Kumasawa. Come on, it's okay now. Let's hurry. I hope Father likes sweet foods. Did we do like a short time skip? I'd imagine. Oh yes, he does like them. In fact, he seems to enjoy eating pretty much anything. Ha 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 ha. After waiting for the master of the room to be out, Bayato and Kurosawa entered the study. Then, they quickly cleaned up the books on the desk, set down the basket they had brought there, and opened it up. Inside were several cute cookies cut out in a butterfly shape. They set out a pretty plate and neatly arranged the cookies on it. It was a kind of subtle, conscientious touch that the recipient wasn't likely to even notice. The whole arrangement was filled with that sort of feeling. I see you spare no efforts for the sake of your beloved father.
This is the most I'm allowed to do right now.
To think that I would give Battler cookies. Why should I, the ruler of the night, do so much for a guest who comes so rarely? Uh-oh. Then the study door swung violently open. It was Battler, with Genji by his side. Battler's eyes went wide for a second when he saw Beato there, but his expression quickly went blank again. What are you doing here?
Father, please excuse me. I didn't come here to get in the way of your important game.
How are you able to get in here? Wasn't this room locked? My apologies. They wanted to surprise you with a gift, so I lent them a key. See? Have a look! Beatrice baked these cookies with all her soul, hoping that you would enjoy them.
Kumasawa and Genji taught me how. I never knew Genji was so good at baking cookies.
Oh, he hasn't done it much of late, but long ago, Genji cooked all sorts of things. He was especially good with sweets. Cookies.
Yes, it's a gift for you, Father. I sincerely pray for your victory in this important match.
Battler looked at the plate on the study desk that was piled up with beautiful cookies and the message card of encouragement lying next to it. Oh boy, I am dying. I don't know why I've been doing this in the past 2 episodes, but whatever, try to ignore it, please. And his face twisted with a complex expression, which might have been one of sadness and might have been one of hatred. Master. Genji urged him to consider saying some words of gratitude to Beato. Battler understood. Anyone would be pleased to receive an act of kindness like this. Even though he understood it logically, he couldn't help but give a small, exasperated sigh. Thank you. I'm very grateful. However, I don't like sweets. Please take it away. Master! Don't make me say the same thing again. Clean it up and take it away. Master, couldn't you just try one bite? Beatrice worked so hard to make them for your sake. I appreciate the sentiment. I'm in the middle of a vital game right now. This is the final game, and it's vital both for me and Beato as well. So please, don't mess with my heart any more than is necessary. That's just too sad for her. I'm glad that you're grateful for her feelings, but can't you show it by taking just one little bite?
Father...
Beato looked at Battler sadly. Battler hung his head to avoid her gaze. The expression on his face caused Beato more pain than any he had shown her before. Kumasawa, please clean this up and take it away. Master! Kumasawa clung to Battler, but he turned his back to her.
My apologies. Let's clean this up, Kumasawa.
I won't allow it! By making this gift, Beatrice gave it her all to try and support you in the only way she could. To tell her to take it away without eating a bite yourself. How can you trifle with a woman so? Kumasawa. If you call yourself a man, you should at least try a bite when a woman makes you a handmade snack. If you truly intend to crush a woman's feelings like this, I, Kumasawa, will not back down, even if it kills me. No, I won't.
Kumasawa, you've done enough for me already.
I won't allow it. Master, do you think they're poisoned or something? Yeah, if Beato ever came to give me cookies, of course I'd figure that she'd put some kind of crazy poison in them. And she's asking me if I think there's poison in these. Who would expect that cookies piled up in such a neat and cute way could possibly have something bizarre hidden inside them? Probably needles. And anyway, who could possibly imagine Beato making something like this? Oh boy. Because of that, Battler couldn't bear to look at Beato's innocent reaction, which was completely free from any malicious thoughts like slipping poison into cookies. Beato quietly started to clean up. Every now and then she sniffled. Kumasawa continued to glare at Battler, but she then gave a small sigh and helped Beato clean up. However, the hardness didn't disappear from her expression.
My apologies, Father. Please excuse me.
Don't call me that. Don't call me father. Beato never called me that.
Yes, as you wish. My apologies.
Hanging her head so low that her chin touched her chest, Beato hurried out of the study. After giving Battler a look, Kumasawa chased after her. Kumasawa threw the door open a bit violently, and the footsteps of the pair rapidly disappeared off into the distance. Oh boy. Unwomp.
I may be his little sister, but I'm not sure how I feel about that. If she were anyone other than Beato, you'd think of him as a true enemy of woman, is that it? I don't have a clue why Battler and Beato act so friendly together. Right now I think of Beato as our greatest enemy, the one we must defeat. Still, even so, as a woman, I can't say I like how Battler's treating her. And yet I can understand Battler's feelings a little too. What a sad state of affairs.
Okay. I still don't understand what kind of antagonism or connection there was between them. However, Battler probably viewed Beato as a friendly rival, if not something more. Battler's reason for defeating Beato isn't to destroy an enemy out of hatred. It feels like he wants to give a sincere answer to her questions. Yes, I can't deny the fact that their fight isn't based on hatred, but on a stronger emotion.
And on top of that, Beato really is something. To remain so dedicated to Battler all the more, even after being treated so coldly. I agree with the other, older sister Beatrice. I can't understand why she's so dedicated to Battler. And though it will only happen after changing over 1,000 years, that single factor you don't understand will certainly be inherited by the golden witch Beatrice we know so well. Yeah, I understand that. Learning about this Beato will eventually teach us something about that Beato. And that may be able to explain the greatest piece in this crazy game, if not the game board itself. Such a mysterious witch.
Though she said those words, Featherin wore a confident smile on her face. Her sarcastic confidence, as though she already knew the answer, was unchanged.
Beatrice, I want to ask you something.
Oh, hello.
Yes? What would you like to know, Angie?
When Angie asked her question, Beato, who had been reading a fragment book in the shadows of the library, jumped. Oh my god. I hate that I keep yawning. I'm just gonna do this. That might work. Yeah, okay. Hopefully that'll work and make me less yawny.
Why do you call Ushiromiya Battler father? Because he created the piece that I am. In that case, why are you so dedicated to Ushiromiya Battler? Is there some rule that pieces must obey the creator that makes them? There is no such rule.
Oh my god, I can't stop yawning!
A piece is like a tool, or perhaps a knife. When used skillfully by the game master, they can be quite useful. However, if you use them incorrectly, they can hurt you as well. Whether a tool is used as a tool or a weapon, that has nothing to do with the tool's own will. It is merely the result. In that case, why are you so dedicated to Battler? It's almost as though that's your goal as a piece. Yes, that is the goal that gave birth to me. Did Battler, the one who gave birth to you, give you that goal? That's not it. As the game master, Battler merely set up a piece with that role on the game board. Also, the one who gave birth to this piece was the first game master, and the one who created this game, Beatrice herself. This is getting confusing. In other words, you keep calling Battler father but he's not actually your father. You're just calling him that affectionately because you feel obligated to devote yourself to him. Yes, I think that's true. Father was the one who placed me on the game board. If he hadn't, my piece would never have had a turn. So the fact that I exist here right now, and am able to devote myself to my goal, is all thanks to Father. I see. So that's why it makes sense for you to call him Father. In that case, who told you to devote yourself to Battler? Oh, that must have been the first game master, Beato herself. This is so confusing. If you wish to ask her why she must devote herself to Ushiromiya Battler, correct? However, she cannot give you that answer. She was given nothing but the goal itself. Only the person who gave her that goal knows the reasons for which they did so. I see. Consider that as well, child of man. Right? So that means you already have an idea and you're laughing at my confusion. You really are just perfect for my Miko. I will do anything for Father. My existence will bring Father happiness. That is my greatest pleasure. And... At that point, Beato hesitated. And what? Yes. And if I could one day have Father acknowledge my efforts, it would be my greatest joy. Pfft. What the hell? If you only wanted to devote yourself to him, I'd say you're just another furniture of the witch. But you want him to acknowledge your efforts? That's less like furniture and more like... Oh, that was Angie. What the hell? Yeah, whatever. Angie stopped mid-sentence. That's less like furniture and more like you're just a girl who loves Battler. I don't get it. The driving force behind this Beato is that of a girl who adores Battler. But then what does that make her? If the first Beato liked Battler, then she should have adored him and devoted herself to him entirely. Why would she create a piece of herself, a separate entity, to do it? As it stands, even if she does attract Battler's attention, it will be towards the piece version of herself, not the creator who made that piece. If I ever like someone, I'll probably want to do things for them. But of course, I'd want to do those things myself. After all, I would want him to notice me. It's a love that will always go unrewarded, no matter how devoted she is. And she's doing this out of her own free will. Beato's actions look no different from those of an average girl in love. She's devotedly doing all she can for him, dreaming that her kindness will eventually be acknowledged. Why would Beato create a piece like this? Maybe putting it in romantic terms is a bit too confusing. Let's try using food as an example. This would be as pointless as creating a piece to eat food for you. Oh boy. No matter how much food... What? Oh. No matter how much food your piece eats on your behalf, you won't get any less hungry, right? You're the one who wants to eat. There's no reason to have a piece to do that in your place. For most jobs in this world, you can get someone else to do it for you. However, with love and food alone, there can never be any point to letting another person do it in your place. Ah, I see. That's right. This Beato was created as a piece because of an impossible reason. Though at a glance she looks just like a normal girl, the more I know about her, the less I understand, like she's an imaginary number. Father hates it when I call him Father. And the me that Father desires didn't call him by that name either. Right. The former he spoke to everyone without using honorifics. However, simply possessing that knowledge doesn't mean I can refer to Father quite that informally. Oh, shit. However, simply possessing that knowledge doesn't mean I can refer to Father quite that informally. I'd like to give it my all, and start by calling him Battler. I'm surprised you haven't gotten discouraged after being treated so coldly. No. Battler is in the middle of an important game right now. His opportunity is the formidable Lady Erica, piece of the great Lady Bernkastel. It's no surprise that he was in a bad mood when I stepped in at a delicate moment in this game, just as it was starting to reach a critical point, and called him by that name he doesn't want to hear. I see. Apparently, Beato still wanted to devote herself to Battler, even after being treated in such a cold manner. Though to an outsider, it might just look as though she's been snubbed, it doesn't faze her at all. It truly is the blindness of a girl in love. Or is it that I can't see because I have no love? At times, love does let you see the unseeable. I would like clues on what love, without love, it cannot be seen. What is love, baby don't hurt me, and what is it? Beato once again immersed herself in the fragment book that the former Beato had written. She was trying to find something about the Beato that Battler desired. Angie shrugged, as though saying, well, I don't get it. Featherin laughed when she saw this.
hinting that an innocent young woman could never understand. Angie grumbled something back unhappily. Their exchange seemed to have had no effect whatsoever on Beato as she sat in the shadows of the library. Might have something to do with the fact that I had 2 sodas today and I caffeine crashed like a fucking mental patient. That's not a proper analogy, but you get what I mean. I get bad caffeine crashes, but I almost nodded off during that little segment in Featherin's room. Not even joking, it looked like the sprites were animated for a second. I don't know why that happened, but I'm back now. Woohoo! I didn't cut at all. I just feel less tired all of a sudden. I guess the caffeine crash is done. Okay, just kidding. After chasing all the others out, only Battler remained in the study. There was no color in this dimly lit room. Yeah, there is. There's like purple, and there's also purple, and there's like all different shades of white through purple black. Your hair's red. However, for just a short time that the plate of cookies had been placed there, the room had seemed at least a little cheery. Yeah, that's orange. Battler's gaze drifted over to the table, which no longer had anything on it. When he did, the cookie plate that had been there until a second ago was revived. However, it was an illusion. Though the cookies could be looked at, they could not be touched, much less eaten. Me before dinner when I was 5. If Battler wished, he could make it possible to touch them or eat them, but it would be an empty sensation. It would only give the touch and taste that Battler desired. He no longer had any way of knowing what kind of cookies they had been. Damn it, I wanted those cookies. On the reception sofa across from Battler, a cloud of gold butterflies slowly gathered and took the form of the old Beato. Oh, really? Come on, have a bite! It's not every day that I make these by hand. Have no fear, I'm confident in how well they've turned out. Poo-coo-coo. Hearing that from milady makes them all the more dubious. Seriously? Any cookies you made would obviously have had some kind of strange poison in them. How shocking that you should think so! Even if I did put something in, it'd be no worse than the kind that does this and that to your other thing. If you do that sort of thing all the time, Battler will never agree to eat them. Hello, Gap. Huh? Putting things in someone's food is pretty basic, isn't it? Fingernails, bits of hair, magic charms, fragments of love. What would you people put in? Yes, ma'am. I wouldn't put anything in them. I just eat them all myself. Of course you would. Obviously, do you have to be so predictable? Well, they say a girl's gotta grab by all 3 sacks. The first one's the stomach, right? Next comes the wallet. And what was the third one again? If I could catch a guy's attention, I'd want to make him sacrifice his body, heart, and soul to me. That's why I pour all of my power and affection into my cooking. In any event, making someone eat your food is probably a frontal attack that's gone unchanged throughout the ages. Ridiculous. How pathetic to think that you couldn't grasp a single man's heart without relying on such simple tricks. Oh? Are you saying you've succeeded in grasping a man's heart, sister? Battler, there's nothing weird in it, so have a bite! Don't think you'll ever get a chance to eat my handmade cookies again. What's with the fucking stars? It's like, is that supposed to imply they're just peace signing around their eyeball? There probably won't be another chance. I slowly stretched my hand out to the illusion of the cookie plate and touched it. Oh boy, we're womping. All I see is yellow. Oh, back to purple. Just before I did, it became a cloud of gold butterflies and vanished into the darkness of the study. The illusions of Ronove and Virgilia also disappeared. However, the illusion of Beato alone still remained on the sofa, and for some reason Gap and the Stakes of Purgatory are chopped liver. Is there something not to your liking? Are you trying to force me to say it out loud? The more the new me differs from the form you wished for, the more you're reminded that I can never be revived again, correct? If you let a good woman get away, you never get a second chance. So only now you finally realized what a good woman I was. Shut up. If you never appear again, that'd be a relief. Humph. Beato laid sprawled on the sofa and looked up at the ceiling. Battler also turned his back and moved to the window. For a while there was silence. I imagine you understand, but I do understand. The me you were expecting has already disappeared. I know. Even though that Beato is you without a doubt, she's a different being than the old you. And I can say with certainty that you'll never revive again. My soul, femininity, sparkling personality, and splendid characters were cultivated over 1,000 years spent as a witch. Unless an exactly identical 1,000 years is traversed, nothing can become me. And so, at the moment you decided to create me, my personal history was different. Yeah, that damn burn castle is already guaranteed that you'll never revive. However, you still hope for it, don't you? One day, the new me will trip and land on her head, and all her memories of the past will be restored. You were hoping for something like that, weren't you? A delusional plot like that wouldn't even pass in a light novel these days. Not so sure about that. They all seem like they can just get hit by a train, go to a different world. That's it. There's your story. Shut up. In the past, you waited and waited for me to remember and take notice. And then, what is it? Does this mean that our relationship is exactly the opposite of how it once was? Well, at times I did continue the game believing that you would eventually notice and remember, that a miracle would occur. How did it feel? How did it feel when you were playing with me? Oh wait, that was probably Battler. Oops. As they say, look inside your own heart. It hurts. If only she didn't look so much like you, I would have kept my cool a little better. Well, do as you wish. In the past I toyed with you and tormented you. Now's your chance for revenge against me. The new me will just wander about nervously, ignorant of everything. You may boil or burn her as you see fit. Perhaps doing so will ease your old hatred. I would if it was you. It'd probably make me feel a lot better. But that Beato isn't you. If it isn't me, who is it? I'm dying. I literally, half swallowed twice saying it's. It's someone very much like you, but not you. But even so, she most certainly is me. True. She is you. And at the same time, she's a different person. In that case, the new me really has it rough. She's being treated like a plaything in my place. How truly pitiable. That might be the contradiction inside me. The new Beato seems like a different person, so I can't accept her. Even though I know she's a different person, she keeps reminding me of Beato's face. In that case, why not think of her as my daughter? Your daughter? She does share my blood, so consider her a daughter that closely resembles me. After all, she is my double, but hasn't lived 1,000 years, so calling her that is not incongruous. True. Imagine that I have died, left behind a daughter, and entrusted her to you. Won't it become a little easier to deal with her that way? It's actually a good analogy. It's unlike you. Do not jest. That is my daughter. She is the child I left behind after my death. You are free to press my likeness upon her. You may also let loose your pent-up resentment on her in my place. Making her bear my sins, and torturing her as you please may calm your grudge. If that doesn't match your tastes, you can also guide her down the right path, so that she does not end up on the inhumane road that I have tread. She was made to devote herself to you since the moment of her birth. If you wish, you can mold her into any shape you desire. After 1,000 years of miracles, she might even become me. So, I could even strip her naked and drag her around with a chain like you did to me once. Yes, at this point even greater humiliation would be possible. So, she is your double and your daughter. Yes, she's exactly the same person. The same piece, which was created once more by the rule called Beatrice. However, when I'm unable to accept it that way, I can think of her as Bato's daughter, finding a clear guidepost for how to interact with her and smooth the uncertainty in my heart. Finally, I understand how cruel I was to her then. My tears poured to the ground, and when I followed them with my eyes, I noticed that a white business card had fallen onto the floor. It was the message card that had adorned those cookies. I rushed her, telling her to clean up and leave right away, which was probably why it had fallen to the floor unnoticed. I picked it up and read the message on it. It was extremely short, pure, and sincere. It's so clear that I should be able to read it. However, it's blurred with tears, and I can't see anything. Ah. This is getting sad. Stop! This chapter really is about love. And nothing but so far. Well, aside from Fold the Cheese. I don't know where the hell we are right now. But it's where I'm gonna end today's episode. That was good. That was pretty damn good. Even if I was slightly nodding off at one point due to a caffeine crash, I managed. And I still retained the information, so that's good. Either way, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. If you liked it, be sure to press the like button. And if you didn't like it, fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!